The crowd is packed, and the stage is lit with glowing purple lights. In the crowd, excited fans scream with joy. They chant the name Song Fei, the person everyone seems to be obsessed with. As the lights brighten, the chant grows louder. People raise their hands toward the stage, overwhelmed with admiration, shouting Song Fei's name repeatedly. Finally, the spotlight reveals two individuals seated on stage in grand chairs. The cheers don't stop. Everyone is focused on the man in the left chair. The woman seated beside Song Fei asks if it's true that he was ambushed and killed 3 times in the godforsaken game. She assures him not to worry. Her people are already investigating the true identity behind the shadow assassin. Song Fei responds calmly, asking for an update on the investigation's progress. She reveals that her team has already contacted someone in a small town called Firebud. They're about to offer him a deal too tempting to refuse. She smirks, saying that once he shows up to take the money, with a sly smile, she finishes her thought. Once the target arrives, they'll ambush him, and Song Fei will have the chance to take revenge personally. Song Fei reminds the woman to inform him when the plan is set. He then shifts the topic, mentioning he heard her company, Dajiang Industries, is already using this method to control players and force them to work for free. She dismisses it, saying the players they've captured are weak and barely offer any lifespan. Then she praises Song Fei, noting that many women willingly give up their lifespans for him, some even ready to die for him. Song Fei sits back confidently, smirking with pride as if to say, "Of course they do." Suddenly someone rushes to the stage from the crowd, shouting at everyone. He warns them not to blindly sell their lifespan to others and asks if they've even seen the official warning that was just released. A man on stage shouts in alarm, revealing to the crowd that if your lifespan hits 0 in the game, you'll die in real life too. He accuses Song Fei directly, calling him out for manipulating his fans. Despite knowing how dangerous lifespan is, Song Fei is still buying it en masse through brainwashing. The man declares that this is a crime against humanity and urges the crowd to hold Song Fei accountable. Song Fei leans back. He mutters to himself that someone finally came to cause trouble, just as expected. He calmly gets up and addresses the crowd, introducing himself as Song Fei. He pretends to acknowledge the public concern. He states that while buying lifespan, he used some public resources, which caused inconvenience to others, and offers an insincere apology. A girl in the crowd shouts emotionally, rallying others. She insists that Song Fei doesn't need to apologize because he hasn't done anything wrong. Song Fei holds the mic with sincerity and expresses gratitude for the overwhelming support and love from his fans. He urges everyone to channel their admiration in a healthy and positive direction. He explains that while the nation is affected by the god-forsaken game, he's been actively cooperating with the authorities and doing his best in-game. He justifies using his personal wealth to buy lifespan in hopes of becoming a role model, a positive influence worth admiring. Tearing up, Song Fei continues his heartfelt speech. He says his real goal was to give back to fans and help them find meaning and happiness through the game, but he never imagined it would cause them so much trouble. As Song Fei begins to apologize sincerely to the audience, saying he never meant to trouble anyone, some fans tear up emotionally. One girl cries out that he doesn't need to apologize. He did nothing wrong. The crowd becomes overwhelmed by emotion. Fans scream out in admiration, calling him gentle and selfless. A heated argument breaks out. Supporters of Song Fei shout at the man who tried to expose him, calling him names and defending their idol fiercely. They insist they volunteered to help Song Fei and accuse the critic of being disrespectful. Another fan screams passionately, warning others not to believe the false rumors and outside propaganda. A fan storms the stage and yells angrily at the doubters. She insists that only idiots would believe the game could affect real-life lifespan and fiercely defends Song Fei. She passionately declares she has died the most for Song Fei in the game, and even if she has only 1 day of lifespan left, she's proud to stand there for him. She adds that anyone who isn't ready to die for Song Fei doesn't deserve to say they love him. Her emotional outburst wins the crowd over. Fans start crying and cheering. They agree with her, shouting things like, "You're right," and "Song Fei, I love you." In a frenzy of loyalty, fans start offering their own remaining lifespan to Song Fei. One shouts they'll give 20 days, another says 17, someone else offers 3. The crowd erupts in offers of self-sacrifice, showing just how far they're willing to go for their idol. On stage, Song Fei opens his arms and declares that he's overwhelmed by the fans' passion. With a big smile, he shouts back that he loves them too, sending the crowd into another frenzy. He turns to the fan who stormed the stage earlier and gently acknowledges her. He says her support truly moves him, and thanks her personally. The fan, overwhelmed and in tears, gazes at Song Fei with deep affection. She confesses that if she could keep looking at him like this, she'd willingly give her life for him at any moment. Song Fei, deeply touched, tears up as he looks at her. Suddenly, a sharp beam of energy shoots through the air toward the stage. Song Fei stands frozen, while the devoted fan continues walking toward him. Gasps echo through the crowd as everyone's expressions shift from joy to horror. Among them, even Song Fei's partner and the audience are visibly stunned. The energy blast strikes Song Fei in the head. His eyes widen in disbelief as the impact hits. The crowd watches in shock as Song Fei collapses forward, falling into the arms of the very fan who adored him most. The fan looks up in horror, speechless, as Song Fei collapses in her arms. Song Fei's assistant rushes forward, screaming his name in panic. The crowd begins to realize what's happened. Panic spreads as they shout out in confusion, asking what's wrong with Song Fei. A scream cuts through the noise. Song Fei is dead! The crowd erupts in hysteria. A bodyguard immediately takes charge, yelling that there's danger. He orders the team to protect the young lady and evacuate her from the area. The crowd descends into panic. People cry and shout, urging each other to run. The fear spreads quickly, and everyone rushes to escape. Song Fei's assistant shouts with urgency. She saw a life force orb appear over Song Fei's body right after he died. But then, that orb suddenly vanished. She concludes someone must have taken it. She puts the pieces together and realizes the assassination and the disappearance of Song Fei's lifespan orb were skills from the godforsaken game. Shocked, she questions how someone could use in-game abilities in the real world, but in her mind, only one person is capable of such a feat. Just as the assistant tries to reveal the identity of the killer, a deadly beam of energy strikes her from above, piercing straight through her body before she can finish her sentence. Her eyes widen in terror as the attack lands. Her guards shout in shock, screaming her name. In the distance, a Chinfong stands in the dispersing crowd, surrounded by blue lightning. Chinfong attacker is finally visible, calm, and completely enveloped in swirling energy. As the sun sets over the towering city skyline, a shocking report breaks out. Celebrity Song Fei has been found dead in Dajiang Square. One of Song Fei's obsessive fans sacrifices herself in a twisted ritual, believing she can inherit his life by fusing with his corpse. The police confirm that Song Fei died due to supernatural powers. The evil sister read the news on their phones, shocked. She breaks down in disbelief, tears streaming as she recalls how they had just attended Song Fei's concert the day before. The other girl begins connecting the dots, mentioning stealth and teleportation abilities seen in the game Divine Abandon. She suspects a player named Shadow might be behind Song Fei's death, referencing his repeated in-game kills of Song Fei. Still shaken, the evil sister questions how game abilities could appear in real life. The idea that fiction is crossing into reality leaves both of them stunned and speechless. Sitting silently, she replays it all in her mind. The abilities match too well: stealth, teleportation, classic assassin traits. With growing certainty, she concludes, the killer must be Shadow. As the taxi moves through the city, the girl mourns deeply. Her world has lost its light ever since Shadow killed her brother. But the pain soon transforms into determination. She resolves to get close to Shadow, no matter what it takes. Her goal is clear: She must become stronger, strong enough to confront him. When they arrive, her friend calls out to her in concern. But the evil woman stands firm, declaring that from this day on, her life has only one purpose. Her eyes burn with vengeance as she vows to kill Shadow and avenge her brother Song Fei, no matter the cost. Chinfong calmly enjoys a bowl of noodles outside a restaurant. As he eats, he reflects that even while in a so-called invincible state during the Divine Abandon game, energy still depletes in the real world. He still needs food to refuel. Suddenly, his phone vibrates on the table, interrupting his meal. He checks the notification. It's from his workplace, warning him that he's on the verge of getting fired if he doesn't return soon. With a sigh, he mutters the name, Yang Xiaoya. Chinfong receives a message about a girl with a gentle nature who often gets taken advantage of. In his past life, she was also part of his guild. Instead of working, he decides to enter the Divine Abandon game again. A conversation in the game chat reveals that many players are running out of lifespan quickly. Chinfong is advised to boost agility at the start, and when asked how much time he has left, he responds that nearly all of it has already been used up. Hu Pangzi gets scolded by his boss, Qian Shishi, the daughter of a powerful corporation's chairman. She has a notorious history of targeting men, even causing scandals with foreign businessmen, and now has her sights set on Chinfong. In the game's previous cycle, Qian Shishi didn't just act arrogantly. She moved to North America and built one of the top 3 guilds there, constantly opposing Daxia and creating countless problems for his guild. Chinfong narrows his eyes, realizing that if he wants to stop Qian Shishi from founding a major enemy guild in North America, he must act before she leaves the country. If she dies, the Elysians Guild might never form. He recalls rumors that many top contributors to the Elysian Guild were romantically tied to her. Removing her would sever those connections and collapse the guild's foundation. Suddenly, his phone buzzes. The caller is Xiao Yu. Chinfong answers casually, surprised to be contacted. Xiao Yu, on the other end, mocks him for not being dead in the game. She announces she's made enough money to buy her own place and no longer needs his help. Chinfong casually ends the call with Xiao Yu. She emotionally declares that she wants to cut all ties with him. Unbothered, he responds with a simple "okay" before putting his phone away. Finishing his meal, Chinfong gets up and prepares to leave. He knows he must return and continue leveling up. Soon, players will reach level 10, and when they realize that powers can manifest in the real world, everything will change. Looking at the skyline filled with birds, Chinfong mutters to himself, "Once that happens, the world will never know peace again." While walking through a European-style town, Xiao Yu's friend questions whether cutting ties with her brother was too harsh. But Xiao Yu refuses to apologize, stating she sold her game lifespan to Chen Corporation for 2 million and has no regrets. Proud of her decision, Xiao Yu boasts she even bought a house for herself and her mother. She's confident that once she meets Shadow, her brother will become irrelevant. Later, she's approached by a young man delivering the assassin skill book she requested. He greets her cheerfully, unaware of her true motives. Feigning kindness, she promises to repay his favor once her plans are fulfilled. Internally, however, she looks down on him, vowing to discard him the moment she meets Shadow. Xiao Yu approaches a player named Wang, sweetly offering him a high-quality assassin skill book. She asks if he can check whether Shadow needs it, offering to gift it to him. Smirking to herself, Xiao Yu thinks this skill book might be the perfect excuse to get close to Shadow. She calls it the red thread that will tie them together. In the woods, Xiao Yu fantasizes about being Shadow's silent support, healing him, killing enemies for him, and helping him level up. She plans to become indispensable. She imagines a future where Shadow gradually trusts her, even sees her as his other half. But when she becomes strong enough and he's no longer useful, she plans to abandon him just like she did to everyone else. Consumed by vengeance, Xiaoyu stabs a target while screaming that she'll personally kill Shadow and gouge out his eyes, vowing to avenge her beloved Song Fei. But her fantasy is quickly shattered. A messenger relays that Shadow rejected her gift, calling the skill book trash. In the desolate wilderness, Shadow was engaged in battle, surrounded by rising blue energy. Suddenly, someone shouts a warning, "Watch out!" Shadow hides behind a rock and quickly assesses the danger. This is no ordinary boss. He mutters that surviving comes first. Suddenly, a red creature charges at Wang Meng. He shouts in panic, urging his teammates to run. He braces himself behind a shield, but the beast's overwhelming number of blades surrounds him, leaving no escape. A brutal strike crashes down. The ground explodes with force as debris scatters. Hiding behind a rock, Shadow narrows his eyes. This isn't just any monster. It's a level 8 golden tier boss with powerful enhancements. He recalls the data. This boss has 2 levels of anti-stealth attributes. That means its true strength is far greater than it appears. He realizes something crucial. The monster can completely negate stealth abilities. As the monstrous boss charges forward with glowing eyes and deadly blades, Shadow acknowledges the danger. His usual tricks won't work here. As the creature with red limbs and multiple blades roars furiously as it charges forward, Shadow leaps out from behind a rock. In a flash, Shadow strikes. Blue slashes pierce the boss repeatedly, and damage numbers explode around them. He notes that if the enemy couldn't detect him, his surprise attack would have dealt even more damage. But since the boss could see through stealth, his damage output was slightly reduced. Thanks to the legendary skill Grace Unleashed, the boss's head and core weak points are now magnified by 200%, making it far more vulnerable than before. Out of Shadow's 9 rapid strikes, 3 hit the weak spots precisely, inflicting triple damage. This perfectly compensated for the earlier damage reduction. The evil sister smirks proudly, crediting her rare skill and thanking friend who helped her find the worship temple where she obtained it. Shadow's attack drops the golden tier boss's HP by nearly 1/3 with a single blow. The poisonous spear slams directly into the boss's face, causing a critical hit. The damage is massive, its regeneration can't keep up anymore. Shadow clenches his fist and reflects. He realizes he still needs to advance his class further to unlock higher levels of stealth to maximize his power. The boss isn't finished yet. It lunges toward him with blinding speed and full fury. The towering red boss descends with all its blades aimed at Shadow, launching one last desperate attack. A girl shouts in alarm from behind the rocks, warning Shadow of the incoming attack. The enemy as the boss unleashes a flurry of rapid, deadly slashes. Blades clash in a chaotic storm. From a distance, 2 spectators watch in awe. They're stunned by Shadow's incredible reaction speed and his complete understanding of the boss's attack patterns. Shadow blocks each blow flawlessly. It's as if he's fought this exact boss countless times before, adapting with precision honed through relentless experience. Shadow recalls his past life, how he once fought alongside Qin Xiaoyu, who couldn't even protect herself back then, let alone support him. That failure pushed him to master evasive footwork and dodging skills as a warrior. Shadow's eyes sharpen. This is the reason. Why even with a basic class, he's ranked among the top 100 fighters in the world. He effortlessly weaves through the boss's flurry of blades under a web of blue light. The golden tier boss stares in disbelief, blood dripping as its health continues to drop rapidly. Shadow compares this boss to others he's faced in the past. Unlike those with unavoidable special moves, this one is far easier to handle. From behind the rocks, the girl watches in shock. She can't believe it. The powerful golden tier boss is actually fleeing. Shadow doesn't hesitate. He activates his skill and launches a deadly green energy spear straight at the retreating enemy. In one final strike, the boss is pierced midair and killed instantly. System notifications appear. boss defeated, EXP gained, and rare loot secured. After the boss is defeated, Shadow receives his rewards, 28 total evolution points, and nearly 2,000 days of tradable lifespan. The system screen glows brightly with the loot details. He's stunned at the sheer value of what he just earned. His eyes fixate on the reward interface, realizing the opportunity in front of him. Among the rewards is the Blacklight Shield, a powerful golden tier skill. When used, it can convert his evasion rate into damage immunity. Combined with his existing dodge skills, it makes him nearly untouchable. Without hesitation, Shadow evolves the Blacklight Shield to its highest possible rank, Legendary. Shadow uses 6 evolution points to enhance his Blacklight Shield, gaining 7 layers of damage immunity and reducing the shield activation threshold to 10%. With this strong defense, he's now confident in exploring higher-level zones. Next, he spends 16 points to upgrade his venomous flying blade, increasing its damage and poison effect. The enhanced skill now stacks poison up to 800% and applies a weakening debuff, making it a powerful tool for sustained damage. Lastly, Shadow equips 2 assassin-class items, a platinum accessory that boosts agility, speed, and cooldown reduction, and a golden glove that increases defense, health, and resistance. With his current gear, Shadow's cooldown reduction reaches an impressive 55%. What used to take 12 seconds, his signature Blink Strike, now only needs 7.7 seconds. Additionally, the evolution boosts his stats significantly, plus 51 to Constitution, plus 106 to Physical Defense, and a massive plus 1,517 to HP. Meanwhile, his teammates watch in awe. They can hardly believe he soloed the boss. One praises his unmatched strength, while another eagerly asks if there's any equipment or skill he could sell to them. Shadow begins assisting his teammates with equipment and skills. When asked if he has any valuable items for a mage, he pulls out a golden skill book titled Frost Bombardment, a powerful AoE skill that unleashes up to 10 ice orbs. The asking price? 800 Tian coins. The mage hesitates, noting that a similar level golden skill book she saw earlier only cost 400 Tian. But Shadow calmly explains, this isn't just any skill book, it's a level 7 skill, which deals over 40% more damage than the level 5 version. Given its power, 800 Tian is more than reasonable. The mage doesn't argue further. She quickly agrees, sealing the deal with confidence. 800 Tian. It's a deal. Shadow has just defeated a high-level boss, losing a golden tier skill book called Frost Bullet in the process. However, his victory earns him 800 days of transferable lifespan, making the trade-off well worth it. Confident and composed, Shadow declares that lower-level bosses no longer pose any threat to him. He plans to return to town to post a notice seeking locations of silver and gold tier bosses, aiming to farm them efficiently and rapidly boost his growth. Just as Shadow is about to head out, a teammate approaches him with a message from a healer named Xiaoyu. She wishes to gift Shadow a skill book. Shadow, skeptical, immediately assumes it's just another low-quality, bronze-tier skill and dismisses it as useless trash. While the outside world is abuzz with theories that Shadow is the one eliminating powerful figures left and right, the idea of someone sending him a Shadow-related skill book seems either coincidental or suspicious. Uninterested, Shadow tells his teammate to reject the offer and let Xiaoyu keep the book for herself. Internally, he wonders whether Xiaoyu is trying to get close to him or seek revenge, or perhaps both. The message is relayed back to Xiaoyu. Shadow called her skill book trash and said he doesn't need it. Shocked and disappointed, Xiaoyu can only mutter in disbelief. Shadow calls Wang Meng to meet him in town, saying he has something to sell in exchange for lifespan. Wang Meng enthusiastically agrees, responding without hesitation. Wang Meng brings up a serious question. He hesitates slightly, then asks about Song Fei, the name of someone significant. Looking directly at Shadow, Wang Meng asks if it was him who killed Song Fei. Shadow confirms without flinching, "Yes, I killed him." While reviewing the timeline of Song Fei's murder, Wang Meng discovers a critical clue. Thanks to his close connection with Wang Meng, he confirms that Shadow, with a potentially dangerous past, was offline during the entire period of the crime. Meanwhile, Shadow becomes aware that the investigation has reached a pivotal point. With Wang Meng's cooperation, the authorities have tightened their net. Rather than panic, Shadow remains calm, almost amused. Just 2 hours before the local stations report the incident publicly, Shadow sees this moment as a test. For him, it's not just about evading arrest, but observing how the Daxia authorities react to a situation orchestrated under such calculated pressure.